Moreover, it is a day I ask you to rededicate yourself to historic preservation, appreciation of our local history, and the value of community and sense of place. Luzerne County and northeastern Pennsylvania have a truly unique political history. One can say that the political principles of two colonies and two states were organically blended together in 1786 to create the new county of Luzerne. From Connecticut's fundamental orders stemmed the desire for the peaceable and quiet ordering of affairs. And from William Penn's Charter of Pennsylvania flows the love of civil society. Exactly 223 years ago on this very day, Luzerne County was carved from and encompassed most of northeastern Pennsylvania. Called the Mother of Counties, Luzerne has given birth to Bradford, Susquehanna, Wyoming, and Lackawanna. The old colonial river town of Wilkes-Barre has hospitably served as the county seat of Westmoreland County, Connecticut, and present-day Luzerne County, Pennsylvania. 6 buildings have hosted our county courts and county government. Fort Wilkes-Barre on Public Square served as home to county government when we swore our allegiance to Connecticut. Later, as loyal citizens of Pennsylvania, Luzerne County held its first court in the private home of Zebulon Butler and his son, Lord Butler, who also served as the first elected sheriff of Luzerne County. Named in honor of the French diplomat Anne César Chevalier de la Luzerne, the second Frenchman next to the Marquis de Lafayette in popularity and esteem of the American people following our independence, the creation of the county was a unique compromise to end the Yankee-Pennamite War and even head off the possible creation of a new state. If history took a different course, we might be celebrating in Wilkes-Barre, the capital of the state of Westmoreland, instead of Wilkes-Barre, the seat of Luzerne County. For over 100 years, our next 3 courthouses were situated on Public Square, a diamond-shaped center of Wilkes-Barre which housed a meeting house, a courthouse, a school, and a jail. Curious public space to religion, justice, education, and inequity. Our first Public Square courthouse was a simple 2-story wooden structure built in the New England style of architecture. This building served the people for more than a decade until a new brick structure, more similar to style of Philadelphia's Carpenter Hall, also rose on Public Square, as the old one was turned over for use as a school called Wilkes-Barre Academy, which, by the way, still exists today as the lower school of Wyoming Seminary. As Wilkes-Barre grew and prospered, it soon became clear that a 3rd courthouse on Public Square was needed. The 3rd structure was completed in 1859, and its impressive tall clock tower dominated Public Square for the next 50 years. By the early 1890s, voices began to demand yet another courthouse, which would lead to this beautiful and magnificent building in which we gather today. But the road to build this building was a long and difficult one. Some say the building was born into controversy, unloved and unwanted. Various groups with competing ideas of architecture and placement jockeyed for more than a decade. One group pushed a new location off Public Square on South Main Street. Yet another group fought to keep its home on Public Square with a smaller version of this building. The style and location that won out in the end was the grand style of the City Beautiful movement, an architectural style married to aesthetical city planning inspired by the beauty of European capitals. This monumental neoclassical building, elegantly situated on the upper end of the River Common, would help launch a beautification program for the entire River Common, and which eventually would lead to a second monumental public project in the Market Street Bridge, which would seamlessly connect into Olmsted's designed Kirby Park. As we celebrate today this, our first monumental public project, we also welcome the completion of a third monumental project along the Susquehanna River with the latest restoration of our historic 200-year-old river common. This magnificent courthouse was erected by the people of Luzerne County as one of the finest courthouses in the Commonwealth, if not the entire country. It is an inspirational living history book, a marble and mosaic link to our past, an index to the civic character of the people who built it. It is an architectural celebration of our local history. The building binds us to the rule of law and educates us with allegorical wisdom. Its courtroom paintings mesmerize us with the ideals and symbols which, as this one is entitled, Prosperity Under the Law by William Lowe. Look and follow me carefully. In a sunlit valley through which flows a placid river, a scene recalling the situation of Wilkes-Barre upon the Susquehanna, the figure of a young Indian girl representing Wyoming Valley is seated amidst the bloom of mountain laurel. Behind her, classically robed in white, stand two figures of women typifying justice and civilization. On the right, a youth holds wheat, indicative of agricultural wealth, and on the left, the miner and the breaker, symbolizing our mineral wealth. The whole composition seeks to embody the sentiment of the following legend. Under the benign influence of justice and civilization, the Wyoming Valley receives the tribute of prosperity from the earth and from under the earth. But the most magnificent feature is right above you, the dome. 100 feet to a stained glass seal of Luzerne County, the dome is seemingly supported by four figures symbolizing common law, equity, moral law, and statute law, all surrounded with gold leaf moldings. But the story I like to tell the most about the dome is the one of a local Wilkes-Barre boy that we honored 100 years ago today by placing him in the dome next to two presidents and a founding father. It's a story I like to tell to inspire our young people and to encourage pride in our hometown and pride in place in terms of both architecture and individual achievement. The two presidents are George Washington, who symbolizes independence, and Abraham Lincoln, who symbolizes freedom. The founding father, Benjamin Franklin, symbolizes philosophy. The local Wilkes-Barre boy, born on Public Square, was placed in the dome to symbolize art. Luzerne County has been home to many artists, but none can claim both a royal exhibition at the Louvre in Paris and a presidential display in the Oval Office. According to the famous auction house Sotheby's, George Catlin is considered to be the most significant political historian of the American West. Born in Wilkes-Barre on July 26, 1796, George Catlin was the son of Putman Catlin, one of the first attorneys to practice in Luzerne County. His mother, Polly Sutton Catlin, was a little girl during the 1778 Battle of Wyoming and was captured by Indians. As a child, Catlin became interested in Indians and their culture and customs. Initially, Catlin studied law at the nation's first law school and practiced in Luzerne County for a few years until his passion for art overtook his career in the law. Catlin left for Philadelphia, 1823, to follow his passion. Within a year, he was elected to the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts and became a successful portrait artist. His first show at the American Academy of Fine Arts in New York included a full-length portrait of New York Governor DeWitt Clinton. But it would be the American West and portraits of Native Americans that would capture his attention and make him famous. Catlin would journey west 5 times in the 1830s to paint portraits of Plains Indians and a future popular American icon and symbol, the buffalo. By 1837, he assembled a gallery of 494 paintings for a traveling show that would take him to New York, London, and Paris. And in 1845, his Indian gallery was shown in the Louvre at a royal family request of King Louis-Philippe of France. Today, the Smithsonian hosts Catlin's Indian Gallery, and it is from this collection that President John F. Kennedy chose to display Buffalo Bull in the Oval Office. But the most interesting fact of George Catlin, to me at least, is he never forgot his roots. For his entire life, he signed his name and introduced himself as George Catlin of Wilkes-Barre. In closing, I wish to emphasize to you the value of having a sense of place. Sense of place is defining oneself in terms of the landscape, history, and shared experiences of a given place. The emotional factor makes a community psychologically comfortable, shapes local identity, and gives one a spiritual bond to the land. Combining a strong sense of place with the goal and role of preservation and the storytelling that goes along with it is to pass the torch of civilization through the generations. We are the collective caretakers of this magnificent building, and it's through the generations that we wish to pass it on with pride, integrity, and dignity. Thank you.